By the end of this video, you'll know the exact recipe, layering pattern, and moisture checks needed to turn waste cardboard, fallen leaves, and leftover coffee grounds into rich, black gold compost you can use all year. This method works because cardboard provides structure and carbon, leaves add bulk and balance the moisture, and coffee grounds deliver nitrogen to fuel the microbes doing the work. You'll walk away with a clear, step-by-step method you can repeat every month, even in a small space, so you stop buying expensive bagged soil and start building your own healthy garden soil from free materials you already have access to. Step 1 is to gather your materials from everyday free sources, so this recipe truly costs you nothing. For cardboard, focus on plain brown shipping boxes without glossy coatings or heavy colored printing, and peel off any plastic tape, labels, or staples before you use them. When you start looking, you'll notice how often cardboard shows up in deliveries, grocery stores, and recycling bins, and you'll realize you have a steady stream of compost ingredients coming into your home all year long. For leaves, rake up what's on your own lawn, and if you need more, ask neighbors if you can take the bags of leaves they'd normally leave at the curb. For coffee grounds, save what you brew at home by emptying your coffee maker into a bucket after each pot. And if you want larger quantities, ask local coffee shops if they'll fill a 5-gallon bucket with their used grounds for you to pick up once or twice a week. Step 2 is to prepare each ingredient so it breaks down quickly instead of sitting in big chunks that take months to rot. Take the cardboard and cut or tear it into strips roughly 1 to 2 inches wide, which creates plenty of edges and surfaces for moisture and microbes to reach. If you have a lot of leaves, run a mower over them once or twice to chop them into smaller pieces, or crumble them by hand if you only have a small amount. This helps prevent them from clumping into a dense mat that blocks air. The smaller you make the pieces, the more surface area you give bacteria and fungi to work on, which can easily cut weeks off the composting time and help the pile heat up faster. Keep the coffee grounds in a covered bucket so they stay slightly damp, but not waterlogged, and if you notice any thick clumps when you scoop them out, break them apart with your fingers before adding them to the pile so they don't form slimy pockets. Step 3 is to choose the right spot and set up the area where this simple recipe will transform into compost. You can use an open pile on bare soil, a basic wooden bin, or a simple plastic compost bin, as long as there is good airflow and the base touches the ground. Aim for a spot that drains well after rain, so water doesn't collect around the base, and if you can, pick an area that gets some sun each day to help warm the pile and keep it active. Before you begin stacking materials, use a garden fork or shovel to loosen the top few inches of soil where the pile will sit, inviting worms and soil organisms to move up into the compost and speed the breakdown. Step 4 is to build the pile using a simple 3-to-1 brown to green ratio, which is the heart of this cardboard, leaves, and coffee recipe. In practical terms, that means you'll use roughly 3 parts of the carbon-rich cardboard and leaves to every 1 part of the nitrogen-rich coffee grounds, which keeps the pile hot but not smelly. Start with a base layer of shredded cardboard about 4 to 6 inches deep, covering the entire floor of your bin or pile area. On top of that, add a loose layer of chopped leaves of similar thickness, spreading them evenly so there are no dense clumps. Then sprinkle a thinner layer of coffee grounds, about 1 to 2 inches deep, across the leaf layer, breaking up any clumps and aiming for an even, speckled look, rather than big patches of grounds. Keep repeating this pattern, cardboard, then leaves, then coffee, until your pile is at least 3 feet high and 3 feet wide, which is the minimum size that reliably heats up and decomposes at a good pace. Step 5 is to fine-tune the moisture level so the tiny organisms that power compost can thrive. After you've built several layers, use a gentle spray from a garden hose or a watering can to moisten the pile until it feels like a wrung-out sponge when you grab a handful from the center. If the material falls apart like dry straw or crunchy paper, gradually add more water and mix it lightly until it holds together when squeezed. If it drips water when squeezed or looks muddy and compacted, add extra shredded cardboard and leaves to absorb the excess moisture, then fluff it a bit with a fork to bring air back in and prevent the pile from going anaerobic. Step 6 is to let the pile heat up and do the hard work while you simply keep an eye on it. Within a few days, the center of the pile should feel noticeably warm when you push your hand into it, and if you use a compost thermometer, you may see temperatures between 130 and 160 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a healthy range for fast decomposition. You don't need to turn this pile every few days, but around the 2-week mark, it helps to give it one good turning with a garden fork, moving the material from the outside edges into the middle and from the middle out to the sides. As you turn it, check the moisture again, adding a light spray of water if it feels dry, or adding a little more cardboard and leaves if it feels too wet, and then leave it alone to heat back up. Step 7 is to evaluate the compost at around 30 days and decide how you want to use it. When this mix of cardboard, leaves, and coffee is ready, the pile will have shrunk noticeably and settled down, and the material will look dark brown to almost black, with a crumbly, soil-like texture that falls apart in your hand. Most of the original ingredients will be unrecognizable, but if you find a few stubborn pieces of cardboard that still look intact, you can toss them into your next batch to keep the cycle going. The smell should be pleasantly earthy, like fresh forest soil, with no sharp ammonia smell, no sour odor, and no slimy patches. If it smells off, give it a bit more time and adjust moisture or air by turning it lightly. Once you have this finished compost, you can start feeding your garden in simple, powerful ways. Spread a 1 to 2 inch layer of compost over the top of your raised beds before planting, then gently mix the top inch of soil so the compost blends into the root zone. For established plants, sprinkle a ring of compost a few inches away from the stem and lightly scratch it into the surface, then water it in to carry nutrients down to the roots. You can also mix this compost into potting blends for containers, combining it with existing potting soil to add life, organic matter, and gentle nutrients without the risk of burning roots like some strong synthetic fertilizers, and you'll often see better water retention and stronger root systems in your pots. To quickly recap, the cheapest compost recipe I use all year is built from 3 free ingredients most people throw away: plain brown cardboard, fallen leaves, and used coffee grounds. You gather them from everyday sources, shred or chop them into smaller pieces, and stack them in repeating layers using a 3-to-1 brown to green ratio. Then you keep the pile as moist as a wrung-out sponge, give it time to heat up and break down, and after about a month, you end up with dark, crumbly compost that smells earthy and feeds every corner of your garden without costing you a dime. Even if you're brand new to composting, this is a forgiving method that lets you learn as you go, without a big investment or fancy equipment. And once you see how well your soil responds, you can keep a batch going in every season, so your garden never runs out of homemade organic fertilizer. If this walkthrough helped you see how easy and affordable it is to turn everyday waste into powerful black gold for your soil, please take a moment to like this video so more gardeners can discover it. Subscribe to Grow Green and Live Clean for more practical, organic gardening tips and simple, low-cost methods you can use in a real backyard. And in the comments, share what free materials you have the most of where you live, or any questions you have about using cardboard, leaves, and coffee in your own compost, so we can keep learning and growing together as a gardening community. If you want more help, tell me what your biggest compost problem is right now, and I may turn it into a future video so we can troubleshoot it step by step. And when you're done here, check out the next video on your screen for more ways to build healthy soil and grow cleaner, better tasting food at home.